Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. Sturgis Charter Public Schools' plan to expand its campus is moving forward, and Site Plan Review took up that plan at a formal review session last week. Sturgis is looking to accommodate an additional 400 students with a brand new building slated for construction on a parcel of land between West Main Street and Scudder Avenue in Hyannis. At this point, many of the kinks in the project already have been worked out between the applicant and the various town departments involved in site plan review, but some concerns remained last week, including where the students are supposed to eat lunch. Here's Health Division Director Tom McKean.
My question is in regards to the lack of a cafeteria or eating area. How many students will be going to the school?
400.
400. Okay. And where will they actually be sitting to eat their lunches?
In classrooms. There'll be benches provided outside in the summer season. Lunches are actually delivered. The school contracts with local restaurants who will come and provide lunches, so students can sign up in advance for sandwiches and then they're delivered to the schools. There is a 45-minute lunch period, and some students do go off campus for lunch. There's been a protocol that's issued by the school as to which eating establishments they can patronize for their lunch. But it's a mix of eating on campus within the site and eating off campus.
There are, on this floor plan I have in front of me, plan number A300, I see, for example, a kitchenette with vending. Is that an eating area?
Yes, thank you. I'm Tamara Warburg, the architect for Studio G Architects for Sturgis. The kitchenette provides 6 items that are available for students: 2 vending machines, 2 refrigerators, and 2, possibly 4 microwaves. And students can use those items in the kitchenette in order to prepare or warm their lunches that they've brought from home.
Well, I guess that leads to more questions as to for sanitary purposes, for inspections. I'd have to. Are there hand washing facilities, for example? Are there available for the students? Is it only for heating packaged foods only? How will this be determined?
There is a sink available in the kitchenette as well, and it's also directly across the open stair from the bathrooms as well.
Okay. So they won't be eating in the hallways, is what was a question that I had heard somewhere else. Will they be sitting on the floors in the hallways for lunch?
No, I don't think that's anticipated. Mr. Heiser can speak to that if that's helpful, but I think the idea is they can eat in empty classrooms, outside. There are places within the school where they'll be able to eat.
I think our biggest issue, that's what's happening now. I mean, they're sitting in the middle of the floor.
Eric Heiser from Sturgis Charter Public School, Executive Director. I would just say that we weren't aware that that is an issue, and we can solve the issue in our current building as we can do that at the new facility and just designate classrooms.
Honestly, I don't see how you can miss it, because the day we did the tour of the building across the street, that's what was going on. And we're walking around, people sitting in the middle of the floor.
I grant you that the students are doing that, but my comment was that I didn't realize that was a problem area, and if it is, then we can solve it immediately. So, but no one has ever brought it up to us as an issue in the past.
Considering that a number of students will likely be eating lunch off campus, Growth Management Director Joanne Miller-Buntage still has a major concern of her own.
I think our major concern at this point is the increased pedestrian activity that will occur on West Main Street. And we understand that the school has a lot of policies that they are successful in leading the students through, but I think most of us are familiar with teenage demographic. The acai berry across the street could be very attractive. There may be new uses that get established in response to the new activity from the school. These students put a lot of money in the economy downtown. I know that others share that concern as well. And while that's good news, I think, for everybody overall, we have to pay close attention. On the town side, we feel responsible to make sure that the pedestrian safety is ensured in the highest and best way possible. So those are the issues we're still continuing to work on.
Town traffic engineer Steve Seymour added that he's pleased with the progress that's been made so far, but he feels that the study being done on the anticipated traffic into and out of the new school still needs some work, as does the parking configuration.
One thing that's underlying of been a concern is the tightness of the site, and I think the situation we're looking at now isn't ideal, but I think we've gone, you've gone working with us a long way towards making it more better. That being said, there was one the traffic report we got yesterday, which was very timely from you, but we didn't have much time to review it. I reviewed it a little bit last night, and I think we need to sit down and make that report reflect some of the complexity of the existing site. I know traffic was counted, but there's off-site parking that's in the town hall parking lot, across the street, and also at another town lot called the Red Cross lot. And I think we need to include all that into the calculation so the report reflects, you know, what truly traffic is there. And I think it's more complex than many of us thought going in, but when you look at it, it is fairly complicated. I think the report needs to reflect that. And then, like Joanne said and others, we need to tie up some loose ends, particularly just, you know, with that traffic issue, with the buses, how that's all going to work, and then how we're going to handle any potential overflow parking, because I think when we really look at it, there's quite a few more spaces available here than there is there, and there's going to be pressure from people, students in particular, they're going to want to park elsewhere, and where's that going to be and how are we going to handle that?
All of that said, Seymour seems satisfied with the plan for traffic flow through the proposed site. Here, Randy Hart, the traffic engineer for the project, explains how that will work in more detail.
We'll be allowing all bus activity, which we're talking 4, maybe 6 buses, to come in from Scudder. They will then queue along the north side of the building so that people getting on the bus or off the bus are getting off and on right at the curb directly in front of the building. Okay, so they'll be storing in that area there. We're also requiring that students who are allowed to drive, and there will be a definite number that will be allowed to drive, they will enter the facility from Scudder Avenue, and this area here will generally be designated for student parking. The thought there is that we don't want them to penetrate any further into the site than we have to, so we're going to get them in, get them to the closest parking relative to the site driveway, and not have to penetrate into what will become more of a pedestrian area, which is this area here. In terms of pickup and drop-off, that will be handled really from a single direction, although it will be allowed from the other direction. The primary entry will be from West Main Street in this outer parking aisle here, and then this area will be designated for pickup and drop-off. We talked, and I know Joanne mentioned that we talked yesterday about making this a bigger crosswalk. It's already 10 feet wide, I believe, today, but we're looking at maybe doubling it so that it has more prominence as a pedestrian area and will be designated for the purpose of, you know, picking up and dropping off. The school will have people stationed, probably teachers, I would assume, at this area, at least 2, that will be there for the full duration of both the morning pickup and the evening drop-off period. So generally speaking, the parents would come in, get in line, and drop off at this area. The students would get out of the car and come directly into the building across the crosswalk in a protected manner.
At the end of the formal review session, Building Commissioner Tom Perry continued the hearing until the concerns you've heard during today's show are addressed. Now, let's take a look at this week's meetings. Well, that's all for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.